What is going on, guys? It is Manatosh here, back for GBA Week 2 Team Builder, going up against Leo and his Durham Druddigons. Make sure you go check him out, link will be in the description down below if for some unbelievable reason you're subscribed to him and not subscribed to me. He's definitely a great content creator, especially in Draft League, to go ahead and follow. So as you guys can see with my new graphics, which is looking pretty fine if I do say so myself, thank you to Freelander for that one. My opponent's team is pretty scary. He's got Magirna, which is non-Z move. He's got the Medicham, he's got the Infernape, he's got the Nidoqueen, he's got the Zygarde 10%, he's got the Cresselia, he's got the Miltank, he's got the Alamomola, the Serena, the Zoroark, and the Rotom Frost. So, first things first, we've got to address the elephant in the room, and that is Magirna. Magirna is not allowed to have Z moves, so my Z mons for my opponent are the Infernape and the Rotom Frost. And actually, before having to prep for Magirna, I thought that it was going to be broken. And don't get me wrong, it is still a fantastic mon, definitely one of the best mons in the format, even without Z moves. But I don't think it is broken. I think it's a really great mon, and Leo drafted amazingly around it. But I don't think it's like full on broken. It's going to break the league just because he has it. He's going to win. Not saying he's not going to win because he's a great player and he's last season's champion. I'm just saying that Magirna is not going to be the reason, which in my opinion means that something is not broken. So, going over my team in case you guys didn't know, I have the Mega Charizard Y, the Zygarde, the Mew, the Rotom Wash, the Cobalion, the Gengar, the Snorlax, the Piloswine, the Slurpuff, the Spiritomb, and the Victory Bell. So looking at this team matchup, it's kind of a weird one because in a lot of ways I have a good matchup against Leo, but in a lot of ways I feel like I kind of struggle. There are a few mons, however, that do kind of help me out of that, so I think I do have the matchup slightly, but not massively. In my opinion. One more thing before I actually get into the team. Unfortunately, I am on the wrong one. But unfortunately, I have had the battle with Leo, so I'm not going to be going into too much depth about how I want like the game to go, because I know how the game's gone and I don't want to give any spoilers to you guys. So I'm just going to go over the team, what I think are the biggest threats and what I'm expecting from Leo. So and obviously I know exactly what I was expecting before the actual battle happened, so it's going to be absolutely fine. No, what's the word here? No spoilers going to be here. I think I'm actually going to be able to do a decent job out of that. So, looking over Leo's team, like Magirna and Mega Medicham is absolutely amazing core, and the dual fighting core is so annoying for my team to deal with, because like Mew is such a great answer to Mega Medicham, but I need something to also deal with the Infernape and the Zydoge. Like, I can't switch into all of those things physically. And if he is able to use his Infernape, especially with the Z move, well, Mew is going to be my switch into the Infernape. Especially with the Z move, he can do a lot to my Mew. I can also use Zygarde as my switch in, as you guys will see. That's why I built the team the way I did. Then it's going to be just painful for my team to deal with if he gets down my Mulo and or my Spiritomb low, because then if Mega Medicham, if he saves it late game, because my team is really quite slow, he can save it late game. Luckily I do have Gengar though, which can revenge kill it. But Bullet Punch is going to be doing a lot of damage if he can get some nice chip on the Gengar. So yeah, those things to consider. I'm definitely expecting. The 6 I am expecting from Leo are as follows: Magirna, Mega Medicham, Infernape, Zydoge, and then 2 or I can see all his bulk coming. But the other thing about Leo's team is pretty much everything on this team can come versus me. Because I can see his bulk coming, I can see Cresselia and probably Miltank coming. I would not be surprised whatsoever if the Alamomola comes, and I would not be surprised if Zoroark comes as well, because playing mind games with that thing is a real pain. It can knock off Snorlax, it can have Hidden Power Ice or Rock for my Zygarde or my Charizard. Luckily for me, it can't have both, and I am leaning towards him having Hidden Power Ice for my Zygarde, because otherwise Zygarde is going to be able to set up, because I do have the Z move. Knockoff's not going to be doing too much, Dark Pulse isn't going to do too much either, so I can set up, and that's not really great for Leo, especially if he opts to not go the Alamomola route. Then Zygarde becomes a lot more threatening with the Z move potential. Yes, Cresselia does a decent job of checking it, but Cresselia can be worn down by other members on my team, so I definitely feel, that's why I kind of feel inclined that Alamomola is going to come. But at the same time, I feel like one problem Leo does have with this build is that like everything can come and everything can do different roles in this match for my team, so he's going to kind of have to nitpick what he wants to do this match, and that's going to be a bit difficult for him, so he's going to need some solid prep for sure to try and outbuild my team. But yeah, the only thing I don't think's not coming is the Rotom Frost. I just don't think it's coming, and it's not even because it's bad in the matchup. It actually has some it's viable in its matchup. It can beat Zard, and it can beat the Zygarde with Dark Pulse. It can beat the Mew as well, and it can trick my Snorlax. It can beat the Gengar with Dark Pulse. So I do actually think that Rotom is a decent bring this matchup, but I just think the other 10 ones are better in the matchup, and that's why Rotom Frost is not going to be coming. With Serena as well, it's going to be the only reason he would bring Serena is for Rapid Spin, because Leo's hazard removal is really not the greatest. And there's a part of me that thinks that Leo wants to prep for everything and that he's going to be scared of Sticky Web, because honestly, my team under Sticky Webs against Leo's team would be kind of painful for him, especially like Zard. Like, not being able to outspeed my Zard and revenge kill it would be a real problem for Leo, because Charizard is a huge threat to Leo's team. I mean, it's kind of absurd how much of a threat that this Charizard is to Leo's team. I'm kind of expecting him to go full Spadef Cresselia, potentially with something like a Spadef Miltank, although I do have the Focus Blast to hit it. So he could have something like the Fighting Berry, but I just don't think that's optimal, because then he doesn't end up checking stuff like my Gengars effectively, or even Zygarde or something like that. So I don't think that he's going to go the Fighting Berry route, if I'm being completely honest in this matchup, though it is definitely something to consider being able to switch into Zard. And Zard is so strong that with the Focus Blast it's going to do a lot to Miltank anyway, so I do feel like Specially Defensive Crest is the way he's going to be going this match for sure. But Zard, in the sun, when I'm modest, I actually 2-hit that thing, but I'm expecting Leo to expect me to go max HP, max speed to speed tie with his Medicham, in which case I'm not going to be able to 2-hit it really at all. Then stuff like Zygarde Dog can come to revenge it with the Infernape with Rock Slide as well, and Mega Medicham can risk that speed tie, but I do have EVs in my Zard to be able to live any hit that's not Thunder Punch from the Mega Medicham, so that's pretty nice. So let's start diving into my team that I did build. Now we've gone over Leo's team. Also, Nidoqueen is actually a huge threat to my team. I don't switch into that thing well. It can run super powerful my Snorlax, which is kind of my only switch in, but I do have a decent speed tier against it, so I can outspeed it with my Zygarde and stuff like that, and come back in and revenge it. But he could bring like Sugar Berry and Nidoqueen, which would be really quite threatening to my team. So going over my team here, the first member is Cheshire the Gengar with Black Size. Like I said, I'm expecting at least 2 of Leo's fat, if not all 3 of the fat coming in this game. So I'm going to want my taunt users, and I'm going to want to be getting Toxic off on those things to help wear them down late game. The game plan I actually, sorry, before we go into the mods, the game plan I decided to try and build for Leo this week was I didn't feel like I had a win con on my team for Leo, which is a reason that I think the matchup is still in my favor, but not as much in my favor. I feel like Leo has win cons versus me, like Shift Gear Magearna and stuff like that are really good against my team, especially if he runs something like Weakness Policy for my Lax. Like, I have to play really carefully around that. Running like that, I will pretty much be clicking return on the Magearna until I get it in range of like +1 Earthquake from my Snorlax, because I can't risk Weakness Policy Focus Blast. Shift Gear will, like 3 attacks, Shift Gear, Weakness Policy, Magearna will beat my whole entire team. It really will. And luckily I've got Belowski the Snorlax here to help me deal with that though. So my game plan was to basically taunt his fat and break down his fat with my wall breakers, and being able to just to stall them out in general is really nice for my team. And then for my team, just to be able to outlast his offense, being able to pivot around my wall core of the Snorlax, the Mew, the Spiritomb and the Zygarde in this game is going to be really nice for me. And yeah, that was the game plan as well, just to wear him down with that and break through him with my Charizard. And revenge kill stuff with Gengar. I always considered Scarf Gengar just to try and clean up late game, but I ended up going with Black Sarge just because, like I said, if he wears me down with something like... What was it for? Oh yeah, so if he goes for something like Ice Beam with his Cresselia on my Zygarde, I can switch into my Cheshire and start to get that health back. And then, like I said before, it's nice to have my Gengar healthy. I can't remember exactly what it was for. But for the Miltank, if Miltank was to be like Chopple Berry instead of like Leftovers to more effectively check my Gengar, then it's really nice. Because also Chopple... Miltank would check my Gengar effectively in the sense if I had Focus Blast, because that's probably what I'd go for. But I don't think Leo really wants to be risking that, because then he doesn't have switching to Zygarde. So that's why I feel like he also brings his Spadef Cresselia. So I do have Taunt and Toxic on this thing, so I can Toxic Taunt the Cresselia, stop it setting up Trick Room, stop it setting up Calm Minds as well. I do have Legion there, the Spiritomb, so he's not going to be able to be Mono Psychic, which is really nice, but something that could potentially be threatening is mono Fairy Calm Mind to my team. But to be honest, I'm not too worried about that. With my I have a few taunt users that are going to stop Cresselia from really setting up on me. It can stop Nidoqueen setting up rocks if I really want to be playing aggressively. It stops Miltank from milk drinking. It stops Alomomola for wishing. It's really nice, like I said, versus fat. Then Shadow Ball can revenge kill the Medicham, which is going to be really important for my team. Completely takes it out no matter what the set. And I didn't check Max Spadef, but if it brings up Max Spadef, he's a lord. I don't care. Congrats, Leo, you're amazing. Yeah, and it can revenge. It can do a lot to Infernape. It can do a lot to the Nidoqueen as well. Zydoge is going to be able to take me out. But yeah, it's really nice for his team as well. And if I'm in a dire situation where Shift Gear Magina is going to win, I can keep Taunt with my Gengar as well. So Taunt's just really nice this matchup, I think, in general. It stops his team from being able to Toxic my team as well. He's not going to be able to get up Toxic Spikes if I have the Gengar around, which is also really useful. And I can switch into Toxics because my team is really fat this game, and Leo likes Toxic. I know I've seen him bring Toxic on in a few of his games, and it makes sense against my team because it is naturally really fat. So Cheshire can potentially switch into stuff like that. So next up is Blastoise the Snorlax. This is my dedicated Magearna check. I do have a 68 attack EVs. This is so I basically do a lot more to the Magearna at +1 and +2. I think at +1 it's like 70% and +2 I KO max offensive Magearna, max HP Magearna, sorry. I can't remember the calc completely off my head, I'm sorry, because I did write it all down, but because I already had the match I got rid of the notes because I'm an absolute fool. And then Spadef is just from Magearna. I can take it from the Nidoqueen if it's only special as well. And actually, with Curse, I have a decent chance of beating his whole entire team. If I can get enough curses up or get rid of the Medicham and the Ape, but if not, it's fine. I do feel like he can bring Medicham in on offensive switch into this thing, so that's another great reason for me to click return on Magearna. Even though I'm not doing it for the reasons of the predict, it's still there because I feel like Leo could go hard in expecting me to Earthquake or Fire Punch, so he could go Medicham and take a lot less health and maybe go for a Drain Punch after to get the health back, but with return I'm going to be doing a lot more. So that's basically the Blastoise the Snorlax. Not much else to say, to be honest. Next up is Mew with leftovers. I do have 20 in speed to try and speed tie that Miltank. I feel like Miltank wants as much, like normally I go more, but I feel like, I don't know, there's two reasons. One, I feel like Miltank wants to be very Spadef or very defensive for my Zygarde or my Charizard, whichever defensive role he decides to take in the match. I figured I would be able to outspeed with 20 investment. I can get a Taunt off and basically beat most of his fat 1v1, to be honest. I don't really want to be staying in on Alomomola because I don't really want my Mew getting Scald Burn. With this investment in defense, I am guaranteed always living 2 Banded Outrages from a Banded Zygarde. 10% of course. I guaranteed live it because originally I had a bit more speed than like I said, but there was like a 2-point-something% chance that he was going to be able to take me out with the Banded Outrage, and I didn't really want to be risking that this game. Especially with Zygarde being such a threat, I really cannot let my Mew get down. So if he does click the Banded Outrage on the switch in, I will softboard stall him. That's my only real play. I don't have the Ice Beam on this thing, and yeah, it's fine for me because I'm always going to be living that Outrage. Once he gets confused, I can softboard again, wait for him to hit himself, blah de blah de blah de blah de blah. So he can also come in on Cresselia if I'm sure he's not going for the Toxic, then I can taunt the Cresselia and beat that thing down 1v1. So now we have Legion here. This is going to be my dedicated Medicham check because Mew cannot check the Medicham, the Infernape and the Zydoge. It cannot fulfill all those roles, so I need to take some of the weight off its back. Legion also stops the Cresselia from being mono-psychic attacking. Originally I had a different set, which I'm actually not going to go into again because I'm praying to the lords above that I'm going to try and make playoffs. Push for playoffs, and Leo is going to be for sure a player that I could play in playoffs. I don't know, so I'm going to save that set. Sorry, you guys didn't need to hear that, but as I was about to say, I was like, I'm going to save that. So, yeah, I have Shadow Ball, Willow, Psychic, and Pain Split. So the Psychic's there just so Infernape can't set up a nasty plot or a Swords Dance on me, because, yeah, that would be really devastating for my team, to be honest, because then I have to go Mew, and then Mew drops to a Z move. It's just, it's not fun. It's not fun. It puts him in range of Shadow Ball from my Gengar, which is perfect. So, all this can be on the Magearna switch in, and just helps me wear that thing down a little bit more. I know it's not going to be much, but with my Snorlax around, I need every little chip I can get on that thing so that I can click Earthquake and not worry about that thing setting up on me at all. It can also kind of be used, like if he doesn't bring the Medicham, which to be honest I doubt, just because of how threatening double fighting plus Zydoge is against me. I think that It can be used for basically whatever I want. It's kind of a throwaway mon, but it's just that his offensive core is that threatening to me that I need to have this thing here. So yeah. So next up we go to my most threatening mon against Leo's team. This is my Rhaegar, the Charizard Y. I absolutely love using this thing. Oh my god. I've got Fire Blast, Focus Blast, Solar Beam, and Roost. So with 220 modest after rocks, I'm going to be able to 2-hit. I don't have rocks on the team, but after rocks I would be able to 2-hit KO the Cresselia. So if I get a Toxic off on Cresselia like that, it's going to be 2-hit KO'd even with the 220. The defense EVs are so that I live like a Zen Headbutt from Medicham all of the time, and the SPDF investment was I live one Hidden Power Rock from something, I can't remember what, to be honest with you guys, I'm really sorry. I also think defense has something to do with Rock Slide from Miltank as well, so I can boost the damage off there quite comfortably, and after a few reaches I'm going to be back at full and I can beat that thing 1v1, so that's really nice. For me. And next up is going to be the Zydaddy the Zygarde. Could potentially, actually, if Leo goes all 3 fat this week, this could potentially be my win con. Zydaddy the Zygarde, leftovers all break. We got a very nasty set here, but it's so good against Leo's team. And let me explain why. We've got Toxic Protect, 1000 Waves, and Substitute. So obviously the general plan here is to 1000 Waves, trap his fat like a Miltank or Alamomola, and then basically Toxic Stall him. I can sub up on anything. I don't, and I'm pretty much going to outspeed them. I have enough speed for a modest Nidoqueen, so I outspeed that thing. Be able to come in and be able to revenge it. I have 44 attack investment just to hit a little bit harder on certain threats that I need to hit on. Cresselia, once he knows my set, will probably be the switch in, and getting a Toxic on that thing is amazing for my Charizard. Like I said, I'm expecting fully SPDF Cresselia for that Zard, so if I can get a Toxic off on that thing, that is absolutely amazing. And yeah, I need this thing not to be worn down too much, but with Protect as well. Protectors, it helps. Protect with leftovers is actually so good, you get so much recovery, it's absolutely amazing, especially if they have to switch around. It's incredible how much recovery you can really get from leftovers and Protect, thanks Gypsy King for that. And what was I going to say? And Zygarde, because if he brings in something like he can mess his Zygarde, his Zoroark with so many things this game. The Medicham, the Infernape, and the Zydote are all amazing. Even Magearna in certain circumstances. I do feel like the Infernape, the Medicham, and the Zydote are the best 3. I think they're better than Magearna in this matchup, but it is very threatening. Not knowing what this thing is, so I can Protect and Scout, you know, if I see Medicham going for Dark Pulse. I think Medicham actually gets Dark Pulse, but I'm going to bet my left nut that it's not going to be the Medicham in this matchup, so... Or of course the Zydoge, if I see it going for Outrage or 1000 Arrows, then I know, but if I see it going for Hidden Power Ice, then Zydoge ain't going to have Hidden Power Ice against my team. And when I have a Zygarde 50, it can run Outrage, that's absolutely fine. So it's really nice for that as well. Like, that was my thought process going into it, and then I realized how bad the set was. And actually, originally I had 1000 Arrows, to be honest, and I figured, you know what, I may as well go full 8. 1000 Waves is really nice in this matchup. So those are the 6 I'm bringing. Who do you guys think is going to be the MVP this match, and do you think we're going to be able to take on Leo or not? I had a really good week 1 match, so hopefully we can pull off the same kind of performance against Leo. Going 2-0 in this league would be absolutely amazing, but if not, we can bounce back in week 3 and see where we land, because we are pushing for playoffs. I'm really excited to be in this league. Hope you guys are excited, and that is going to be all from me today, guys. So if you guys did enjoy today's video, please leave a like rating down below. If you're feeling like an absolute legend, make sure you go ahead and smash that subscribe button. But other than that, I will smell you later.